That very first Palm Sunday was the only celebration that Jesus was the Messiah that occurred while Jesus was still on earth. And in many ways, what the townspeople were doing with their procession, with their cries, "Hosanna to the Son of David," was affirming what had been done rather privately, rather intimately at the manger in Bethlehem by the shepherds, by the wise men. As we celebrate Palm Sunday, Passion Sunday this year, perhaps the procession down the aisle really touched your heart and caused you to sing with full voice, "All glory, laud, and honor to thee, Redeemer King." People in Jesus' day were a little more used to processions in the streets than we are. There was the royal progress, which was when royalty came into a town or a village, and they would enter with gilded carriages that were drawn by white stallions. Somewhat of the image, if you've seen the film, The Imitation of Life, that funeral procession at the very end. That's what they were used to. But this procession was quite different from that. It wasn't the wealthy, the educated, the advantaged who turned out. It was the poor, the nameless, those people that were considered to be nobodies by the somebodies of their own day. They turned out, and they didn't have a gilded carriage and white stallions to draw it. They brought a donkey, and they covered that donkey with a blanket. And they threw their robes in the street, and they pulled down palm branches from the trees. But their celebration of Jesus as Messiah in a public way came from their hearts. Hosanna to the Son of David. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. The poor gave the very best that they had to offer, but the rest of the world gave very little or nothing at all. And before we get a little bit too hard on the advantaged people of Jesus' own day, who didn't turn out, who didn't welcome him as their Messiah, that theme, that spirit, that experience is still with us today. Very often, when I preach, I want to encourage you and inspire you and even make you feel good. Today is not the day to do that. Not after reading the Passion together and coming to a deeper glimpse of what Jesus went through for us. And then I look at myself and I ask you to look at yourself. What are you doing for him? Are you like the townspeople who pulled the branches from the trees and spread their cloaks? Or are we more like the rest of the people who thought that was just plenty? As we open this Holy Week, we remember that Jesus wants us to come to Him. He invites us, He gives us the grace, but He waits for us to say yes or no. If the truth be told, for many of us who come to Mass on Sunday, we're coming perhaps more to fulfill an obligation than anything else. That thought, well, I need to be there, it's required, but I hope it will be as painless and as quick as possible. Right? If you've ever thought that way, if you think that way right now, look into your heart and ask yourself what's going on. Many people in coming to Mass, I believe, approach it like getting on a bus. I'm on,